Hi everyone. For this video, I wanted to talk about some additional resources you have for this course. Just again, as you navigate through this course and especially doing a CBE course, a competency-based education course, where the main goal is to ensure that you as students develop the necessary competencies for this course. There are a lot of resources that are going to be vital to your success. And as we meet in our weekly meetings each week, we'll talk about, you know, that subject for that week in more specifics. But this is just an overview as you begin navigating throughout this course. So, along with the textbook that you're going to buy in Canvas, you'll notice that there are these PowerPoints, and these PowerPoints outline every chapter of the textbook for this course. And they kind of just summarize the main pictures and ideas. And it is a helpful resource. Most of the time, it's just the pictures that they have in the textbook as like they screenshot them and then put them in a PowerPoint, but it can be helpful as you're kind of learning. And I think the visuals really kind of help a lot with your understanding. So I wanted to show you like an example of one. You can see as I'm clicking through here, there's all different ones. So like this one talks about the overhead service and the location of that. Um, and this one in particular, this is chapter 4. So this is all about services. And so everything here is going to talk about services. So for example, I just like to talk about this picture in more detail. This is showing kind of the basic overview of how services work. So we have a service drop that's coming in here. And then these are outlining all like the important pieces of that. So you can see here that this arrow is pointing to the service point. This is pointing to the building or structure here. So it is helpful to kind of get an idea of like when you hear all of these words, it's important to read the definition, but also to visualize it is important as well. So I highly encourage you to definitely skim through these and make sure that you understand a lot of these terms because they are important for design, especially services. So services are essentially to kind of explain what services are. Again, we'll talk about this in more detail, but we have our power company like consumers, and they are responsible for like that overhead electrical distribution system. So where we've got this is like a picture of one, but like where we have the poles and these overhead cables and lines. They're responsible for maintaining that system, right? When power outage, you see them up that pole, which might be some of you one day. But when it comes to the homeowner side, it's a difference between public versus private, right? This is public. Um, and that's because consumers needs to access it. But once it goes on your property, that becomes private. So consumers no longer is responsible for it. It's the consumer. So it's just important to look at these and understand all of the different terms because when you hear something like the service point, you want to make sure that you're able to, when you're out in the field, be able to access that right away. And the service point, you can see here that that's just the point of service into the actual house. The service lateral is the point that's connecting the public side to the private side or going into the residential. So again, I just highly encourage you as you're learning throughout this course, take a look at these PowerPoints, specifically take a look at the diagrams that they provide and make sure that you're understanding these visuals because they are important to understanding the important knowledge that you need to gain from this course. Then that was all. Thank you.